What's up, guys? Welcome back to Supreme Micah. So in this upload, what I want to talk about is the effect cardio has on your overall muscles and muscle growth. So this is a pretty controversial topic, and one of the main reasons why is because a lot of people, guys and girls, who bodybuild and lift weights and who strength train, many of them do not do cardio because they're afraid that this will have a direct impact in their muscles. So that's why I'm creating this video. That's why I'm speaking to you now, because I want to talk about this. Okay, so one, can cardio affect your muscles? So there's a few different conditions in regards to this. How frequently are you doing cardio? And also, how much are you eating? So I've spoken about this in prior uploads and videos of mine. You definitely want to make sure that you're planning your cardio or your run days around your weightlifting days. Personally, this is something that I did. And for an example, what I usually did when I was running 10K, for an example, is I would run first, and then if I did do weightlifting or lifting that day, what I would do is do lighter weights rather than doing the normal weightlifting and amount of weight I would on an ordinary day where I was not doing cardio. One of the reasons is that after your cardio sessions, you really want to make sure that you have enough energy to weightlift. And this is also one of the reasons why I say you should do lighter weights depending on how intensifying your cardio session was. Now, the frequency. So in regards to frequency, you definitely want to make sure that you're breaking this up throughout the week. I would say 3 times a week of cardio is likely okay, but it really depends on a few factors. Such factors include how long are you running, how fast are you running, and are you incorporating weightlifting in that same day? You really want to keep in mind the amount of effort that you're putting into your cardio session and whether or not that is going to impact your muscle growth overall. The frequency in which you're running throughout the week, the month, or the year will most certainly impact your muscle growth. There is many studies that do suggest that muscle growth will impact your muscles, and sometimes this can be a benefit and sometimes it's not, depending on your goals. Cardio will essentially have the most impact on your muscles depending on how frequently you're doing it. So in prior uploads, what I've mentioned is that you should break this apart throughout the week. So let's say on Monday and Tuesday, you're going to train heavy. You're going to squat, you're going to work on your chest, and you're lifting some medium to high intensity weights, okay? So let's say you're going to want to do cardio maybe the day after, and this isn't a long cardio session. This is typically, I would say, something where you can do maybe between 20 to 30 minutes in overall cardio at a somewhat moderate speed, okay? Now you have to keep in mind too that your lower body, no matter what type of exercise it is, will consist of working the same muscles no matter if you're doing cardio or if you're training your lower body. So being able to even do cardio after, let's say, you're working your lower body. So lower body, you're working out on Monday, and then Tuesday, let's say you do a cardio session. Keep in mind of that. That's just something that many people do forget. That is still working your lower body. You probably are going to want to give that time to rest. I would say that you plan your cardio before a certain period and after a certain period of when you're training your lower body. Just keep in mind that those parts of your muscles on your body still need the time to be able to recover. Now, I will use myself as an example. Me personally, I only did cardio on the weekends. I would weight lift Monday through Friday, and between those days I would probably have one rest day. Saturday or Sunday usually is when I would take the second rest day out of the week. So altogether, generally speaking, 5 days for me, okay? So I never did run twice out of the week, and if I did, it was probably for some reasoning to be able to get back on track, on schedule in regards to maybe a cheat day that I had. Now, you really want to also keep in mind of the amount of calories that you're eating. Remember, to be able to gain muscle, that you actually have to be in a calorie surplus, meaning that you should be eating more calories than you normally would any given day. If you're doing endurance and exercises such as cardio, then you really want to make sure that you're still eating the appropriate calories to be able to gain muscle mass. Cardio overall will burn fat, but it also burns calories. So if your goal overall is to build muscle, then make sure that you're definitely still keeping up on your calories intake even when you're doing your cardio sessions. So spread it out. Me personally, I would say depending on how long your runs are should dictate whether or not you should be running, let's say 2 or 3 times a day. Me running 10K a week, I tried to cut that down to just 1 day out of the week, and usually after that 10K, I would do light weights, nothing that was heavy whatsoever. So I want to get into earlier about what I was saying. Now, in regards to cardio allowing you to grow muscle, this is something that has been conducted in research many times, and it really does depend on the speed and the amount of cardio that you're doing. Now, sprinting, for an example, has known to be able to add muscle and also tone your lower body in regards to your muscle. I would say, generally speaking, sprinting will have the greatest impact in regards to the type of cardio that you're doing. If it is running on a treadmill or if it's running outside on a track, sprinting will definitely impact your muscle. I would say probably for the best type of muscle growth that you can get from any type of form of cardio. And you can look at professional sprinters and see this. This is amazing because what you can really see in sprinters is usually very toned muscles, and they look very different compared to what you would see in marathon runners or runners overall who run in many contests. Sprinters, generally speaking, are very muscular, and they definitely are built for stuff like that, and they train for it, and you can see it, and it just really looks amazing. So the next thing that I want to talk about is strength. Does strength and your performance from cardio have any type of benefit, or does it cause any type of loss in regards to your overall strength? So I'm going to compare myself again in regards to this situation or this topic. So running 10K, I would say no, it really did not impact my strength whatsoever. What I noticed when I ran 10K over the summer for about 3 months was that I lost a lot of fat. My muscle was still there, and also I did indeed still have my strength. I was still squatting 315 pounds. I was still doing mostly all the weight, but I got very toned and I did lose much fat. So what I really want to talk about is a few of the topics that we just covered. Probably most of the reasoning why I didn't lose my strength was because my training stayed consistent along with the amount of calories that I was eating. That's why I mentioned before that when you are incorporating cardio into your fitness plan, then you really want to make sure that you're still eating the amount of calories if your goal is to gain muscle. Because at the end of the day, if that was your goal and you still wanted to do cardio, it doesn't matter. Cardio, remember, burns calories. It burns fat, which is great, but it also burns calories. And if you're wanting to build muscle, you need to be in a calorie surplus, and that's just how it works. There's a difference between getting ripped. When you get ripped, usually what happens when you get ripped is that you are in a calorie deficit, but what happens is when you lose that fat, believe it or not, you're actually losing muscle too. And what actually happens is, although your muscle is still showing after your cut, it's actually a lot more shredded more lean than it would be if, let's say, you were bulking, for an example. So those are some of the key differences that you definitely want to keep in mind. So just remember, strength overall should still be there. It really depends on what you're doing, how you're working out, what your goals are, and overall being consistent. I would say being consistent is one of the most important things in regards to all of this, and also your fitness routine or plan. Just make sure that if you are doing these type of cardio sessions or gym sessions, that whatever you do on a daily basis and even on your rest days, even down to what you eat, will have a direct impact on your goal. So this is why I always say, make sure that you write down your goals, make sure you're doing what you want to do and whatever makes you happy, whatever you want to get out of this motivation that's driving you for this goal. I've also mentioned this in prior videos as well. Cardio really does have a great benefit mentally for you, mentally and physically. Mentally, it will definitely relieve stress. So just make sure that even if you're doing this for stress, that, you know, overall, that you will most certainly feel that relief. I've mentioned this in prior videos, and it's something that I definitely want to get out there for people, that most certainly being able to do cardio has many benefits. And if you're weightlifting, don't be afraid to do cardio, because not only will you benefit from a stress reliever, it really is helpful overall for your body. You're going to get a lot of benefits out of that. And it shouldn't really be your biggest concern about losing muscle, because like I mentioned before, if you really are consistent and you're paying close attention to overall how your diet is, how much cardio you're doing, it's really not going to have that big of an impact. Guys, so I made a fitness video for you, so check this out now. Guys, as always, I appreciate you for tuning into this channel. Make sure that you hit the thumbs up button. Make sure that you leave a comment, and also make sure that you subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.